Hello, welcome to my YouTube channel. There are so many problems that will arise in a worn-out engine. Some problems you might encounter with a damaged engine include low performance, knocking noises, rough idle, exhaust smoke, inconsistent power, rattles, and so on. The options you can choose from are to sell the car or perhaps rebuild the car's engine. If you decide to build the engine, you can either do it yourself or employ the services of a professional. In this video, we will discuss some ways you can remove your vehicle's engine and transmission. But before we continue, please don't forget to subscribe to my channel, like, and share this video. One other thing you can do is to replace the engine entirely. You can upgrade to a better one or replace it with the current one. Engines get removed from vehicles all the time, which is not a big deal. The process of getting it done might be a little tedious, but it is not impossible. How to lift an engine with a jack? You need to secure your vehicle before you start the process of removing the engine. To secure it and make sure it does not fall on you while you work, you need to raise the car with a jack. Jack up the front of the car and shake it left and right to make sure it is stable and safe. How to remove the engine with a hoist? Before lifting an engine from a vehicle, you need a hoist and other important tools. Some of the things you might need are: 1. A well-detailed instruction manual to serve as a guide. 2. Hand tools like screwdrivers, pry bars, pliers, socket sets, wrenches, and razors. You also need AC tools if the vehicle has one installed. It is, however, advisable to get the AC evacuated by professionals before you start the process of removing the engine. 3. Masking tape, marker, and a plastic bag for storing and labeling parts as they get disassembled. 4. A vehicle jack, jack stand, and wheel chocks. 5. Lots of rags to wipe your hand as they will get messy. 6. Draining pans to drain fluids like coolant, oil, and so on. 7. Rust penetrant to remove nuts and bolts. 8. Wrench kits for removing objects like trans fluid lines, fuel lines, and others. You have to park your car on a leveled surface as you work and also make sure there is much overhead space for you in case you start lifting. You may also get a camera so that you can be able to capture the process as you disassemble. Engine removal with hoist. The first thing to do is to use the wheel chocks to secure the rear wheel, then jack up the front of the car to place the jack stands. Ensure the car is stable and will not fall as you work underneath. Remove the hood of the car and disconnect any fluid lines attached to it. Keep track of every bolt and nut you remove by putting them in a bag. You can now go ahead to disconnect the battery and fuel lines. You need to depressurize the fuel system and disconnect hoses, pipes, and others. Proceed by removing all the connectors under the hood. Make sure you label everything you disconnect so that you won't have any problem putting them back. Now, drain all the fluids from the engine. This is where your draining pan will be useful. Keep it under the car to avoid staining the floor. All the fluid escaping will pour in. It is advisable to fill new fluid into the vehicle after this process. Once that is done, remove the coolant and transmission hoses from the radiator. Also, disconnect any hose running to the engine from the pump. Remove the radiator and AC system so that they do not get damaged. The last thing to remove right now is the exhaust system. Unbolt the header pipe or the exhaust manifold. Since everything has been disconnected, attach the chains from the hoist to the engine block. Before you start lifting, the motor mounts secure the engine to the frame, so you need to unbolt it. Some cars have 2 motor mounts while others have 4. They look different in shape and size. How to remove engine and transmission together? If you want to remove the engine and transmission together, then when you remove the hood, jack up the rear of the vehicle and remove both as one assembly. You should use a rolling engine hoist so that the engine and transmission will be tilted away. Also, make sure you have a lot of space in your garage or wherever you are doing this. This will make your hoist go very high enough. However, it is much easier to detach both engine and transmission first before you raise the engine. How to remove the engine from a car without the hoist? It is also possible to detach your vehicle's engine without a hoist. Before you start disassembling, take a picture so that you will be able to look back at it if you get confused. First, make sure your car is parked on a level surface. Then open the hood after applying the parking brake. After this, detach all the accessories of the engine. Use a wrench to remove the battery cable and disable the battery. Remove all the wiring harnesses from the vehicle and set them out of the way. After this, Disable the fuel line from the injector rail with the fuel line removal tool and then remove the power steering lines. Remove the radiator with your hand by loosening the petcock and draining the coolant. Then proceed to remove the radiator hose from the engine with a screwdriver. You can then remove the radiator with a socket wrench. Now raise the vehicle by placing a jack under to raise it. By doing this, you will be able to work underneath comfortably. Then place the stand under the chassis so that it will not fall on you. Use a wrench to loosen the bolt at the rear to remove the drive shaft. Then pull it out of the transmission by pulling it towards the car's rear. You might need to watch out for any fluid drain at this moment. Then remove the engine. Make sure you get rid of everything that might be pulling it back. Remove brake lines, mounting bolts, and every other obstruction. In conclusion, those are the ways you can remove an engine with or without the transmission. You can also choose whether to use a hoist or not for the process. If you know it is too complex for you, you can take it to a professional mechanic to help you out. This is all we've got in today's video. I hope this video was helpful to you. Please don't forget to subscribe to my channel, like, and share this video. Thanks for watching. See you next time.